We say we're fine. We say we've moved on. We say it doesn't bother us anymore. But if that were true, why does the same thought still echo at 2 a.m.? Why do our hearts race when a name appears on our screen? Why does silence feel so heavy when no one's around to distract us? Maybe we aren't lying to others. Maybe we're lying to ourselves. Because deep inside every human being, there's a system designed not to tell the truth, but to protect us from it. Sigmund Freud called it the defense mechanisms, and he believed they're the invisible shields that keep us from collapsing under the weight of what we can't face. Picture this: a man insists he doesn't care about being promoted, but every night he stays late, waiting for recognition that never comes. A woman laughs at the idea of needing anyone, but scrolls endlessly through old messages, replaying moments of affection she pretends to have outgrown. We repress, we deny, we project. And every day, our minds quietly rewrite reality, turning pain into stories we can live with. We call it coping. Freud called it defense. In the late 19th century, Vienna was the center of art, music, and the mind's awakening. And among the smoke-filled streets and candlelit studies, a doctor named Sigmund Freud began asking a question no one dared to ask. What if we don't even understand why we do what we do? Freud believed that beneath every conscious thought, there's a hidden chamber, the unconscious, a vast reservoir of memories, desires, and fears we've buried to survive. But the unconscious doesn't stay silent. It leaks out through dreams, slips of the tongue, sudden reactions. And when the truth threatens to surface, our mind builds walls to contain it. Those walls are what Freud called defense mechanisms. Freud described the mind as divided into three parts: the id, primitive, instinctual, seeking pleasure; the ego, the rational self, trying to balance reality; the superego, our moral voice, shaped by guilt and ideals. When these three collide, when desire meets guilt and reality refuses to cooperate, the ego deploys defenses to protect itself from anxiety. These aren't choices, they're survival, and they manifest in ways more familiar than we think. Freud identified many forms of defense, but let's step into the ones that quietly shape modern life. 1. Repression. The buried truth. We repress when we push painful thoughts deep into the unconscious. It's the mind's way of saying, not now, too dangerous. But the repressed always returns. Through recurring dreams, emotional triggers, or that unexplained sadness we can't put into words. It's why we overreact to small things, because they touch wounds we forgot we had. 2. Denial. The disguise of strength. Denial is the refusal to see what's real. It's easier to say, it's fine, than I'm falling apart. You'll see it in people who stay in toxic relationships, or those who pretend they don't need help, until silence becomes unbearable. Denial is not blindness. It's self-protection, dressed as pride. 3. Projection. The mirror game. Sometimes what we hate in others is exactly what we fear in ourselves. We accuse others of being selfish because deep down, we're scared of our own needs. We call someone weak because we remember how helpless we once felt. Freud said projection is the ego's favorite trick. It's easier to fight our demons when they're wearing someone else's face. 4. Rationalization, the justification factory. We tell ourselves stories to make the unacceptable feel acceptable. We fail and say, it wasn't meant to be. We hurt someone and say,
it wasn't my intention for anyone to get hurt. I just wanted to protect my family.
Rationalization doesn't erase guilt. It simply paints it in prettier colors. 5. Displacement, the misplaced anger. You get humiliated at work and come home to yell at someone you love. The ego redirects anger from something too powerful to something safe. It's how humans survive powerlessness. But over time, displaced emotions destroy the people least responsible for them. 6. Regression, the emotional time machine. Under stress, we regress. We go back, mentally, emotionally, to a safer time. A grown adult slams a door. A calm person panics like a child. Regression reminds us we never outgrow pain. We only outgrow the forms it takes. 7. Sublimation, the art of transformation. Among all defenses, Freud admired this one most. Sublimation is when the mind transforms pain into creation, anger into art, longing into poetry, trauma into purpose. Its defense evolved into meaning, the human ability to turn suffering into something beautiful. Freud believed that in sublimation lies the essence of civilization, our drive to create, to refine, to make sense of chaos through beauty. We build these defenses not because we are weak, but because reality is too sharp to touch barehanded. But the question is, how much of who we are is truth, and how much is just defense? We repress pain until we forget it ever happened. We deny what we cannot face. We project, rationalize, displace, and all the while, we believe we're being honest. But what if the lies we tell ourselves aren't lies at all, just fragile truths wrapped in protection? The mind, in its complexity, isn't trying to deceive us. It's trying to protect us from ourselves. And maybe that's the tragedy of being human. We hide from pain so deeply that sometimes we forget who we were before we started hiding. Freud's ideas were controversial. Critics said he was obsessed with the dark, the hidden, the unprovable. But maybe he was simply the first to hold up a mirror to the parts of us we'd rather not see. He showed us that beneath every behavior lies a reason, and beneath every reason, a wound. Defense mechanisms aren't signs of failure. They're proof that we've survived. But survival isn't the same as healing. To heal is to look into the mirror, to name what the mind has hidden, and to forgive ourselves for needing protection. Because the truth is, we all lie to ourselves, not to hide who we are, but to survive long enough to remember.